is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll open with some happiness, then some sadness. Then we'll get the real happiness. It'll be a nice flow for the first 8 minutes of the show this morning, or not 8 minutes anymore, but about 6. But in any case, let's see, how do I want to open? I could open by telling you that I'm not going to get to the big news yet. We'll get there. But so here's the situation. I know what it was. A lot more people are popping on my Facebook page. I'm up just short of 3,000 or something in just a little over a month, which I guess is a big deal for social media like Facebook these days, because a lot of people don't get above 1 or 1,000 or 1,500 or something, whatever. But in any case, a lot of people did not know, yet again, that this show even existed. So hopping on Facebook, they came over and listened to the show. And now they're telling all their friends about the show so they can come over here and listen to it too, or watch it too, which is great. I think that's wonderful news, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
So thank all of you. I talked to management and they said, yep, Tom, it does take some time, but your show's definitely going to get there. You guys are doing a great job. I said, well, not Tevin and AJ. They said, well, no, not them, but
naturally.
Yeah, no. Sure. But no, they're very happy about the way it's going because it's been just a little over a year and built it up to a nice number. Thank you to all the listeners for that, because without you, there is no way that happens, obviously. So thank you again, and tell all your friends so I can sit around on my ass and do nothing like Sid did till he was 100. And I mean that as an honor. I'm not going after Sid, man. I think it's an honor. Lasting to 100 years old. Let me just tell you about the twins. Unbelievable. Okay, now there will be no family show today or tomorrow. I'm coming home, so I won't be on Friday either. It'll be a best of on Friday and Monday, which is, you guys, just because you know me, you get a 4-day holiday. What the hell is that?
I was meaning to thank you about that. I just told Tucker Newt this morning. Right. I got the text from maybe Daniels, and I was like, wow, what a guy Tom is. He is the gift.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes.
Yeah, bullshit. Anyway, I had to cough there. Sorry.
Yeah, you all right?
Yeah, I think I'm okay now. I got that out. It was just wonderful. But yeah, we'll not do the family show today. I'm going to be on the morning show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But Monday, Tuesday, there will be no family show because, unfortunately, Alex's father-in-law died yesterday. Long illness. He had cancer for 16 years, I think it was.
Oh, my God.
Or maybe 18 years.
What a fighter.
One of the smartest men I've ever met. One of the nicest men. He was a doctor. He was a great doctor. He was a captain of the University of Minnesota golf team, which pissed me off to no end. To know somebody that good at golf, I didn't care for that at all. But Dick Rasmussen, Dr. Rasmussen, one of the smartest, nicest people I've ever met, unfortunately catches a major problem. It finally gets him after 18 years. But I wish everybody could have known him back in the day. Like I said, extremely bright man, very talented guy, a great doctor. I'm not going to mention great golfer again because it pisses me off too much that he was a great golfer. But so yeah, there'll be some things going on. The only thing I didn't even feel this until after I got the message last night that Dick had passed away. You know what pressure that puts on me? I'm the only grandfather left in that family. What the hell?
You're gonna have to pick up the slack now.
Right, you're gonna have to start handing out more candy and chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
More days at the zoo, more trips to the park. Yeah, absolutely.
So here's what I like about this whole deal. So Andy goes in the hospital, gets his cancer taken out, thyroid. He's clear. It didn't pop up again anywhere, which is great news. They thought they were going to get it all. They didn't think it was going to be a problem. They were right. So then Andy goes into the hospital. He's finally had the thing. He's okay. Then we find out that Dick's in the hospital. And it's like, oh, how's that going? Blah, 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 blah. Then Andy goes back into the hospital. He just got out again yesterday because his calcium levels were so low. They were dangerous.
Oh.
But he got out again yesterday. And then as he's getting out of the hospital, Dick died. So it was a hell of a week, I'll tell you. But two of the smartest people I've ever met, Andy and Dick Rasmussen. Andy, thank God, is still with us. He's a young man in his 30s, but Dick, we're going to miss you. He made some observations to me at times that were just unbelievable. He's a very, very smart guy. I don't mean this in a negative way, but in that way he reminded me of my father, because my father was a brilliant man too, but then he popped a bolt like a lot of brilliant people do. Did you ever see A Beautiful Mind?
No, I haven't.
Oh, God, is it phenomenal. It's a great movie if you ever get a chance. But it's about a genius who pops a bolt, and it's really, really good. And it reminded me a lot of my father.
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, I don't relate to this, but I'm sure when you're just smarter than everybody, it gets frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
When you're like, how do you not understand what I understand right now?
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example of what you're talking about, right? I am sick to death of the hideous anger and hatred that people have toward one another over politics.
Oh, yeah.
Are you nuts? That stuff's not real anyway. Everybody who's involved in politics is a scam artist, every damn one of them, in 1% to 100%. Scamminess is what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But honest to God, I am so sick of this. Oh, I hate you because you're this. I hate you because you're that. It's politics. It's not real. It's all about money is what it's really all about. So you like your people to have more money? Is that what you really want to tell me? I'm in line yesterday, a place called Joseph's. You ever get to West Palm Beach, go to Joseph's Classic Market and pick up a pizza. It is phenomenal. All their food is great. It's a grocery store.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in to Joseph's yesterday, pick up a couple of things. I'm in line, and there's a guy behind me. He's about 6'5", probably weighs about 280, a giant of a human being, right? And he just has a salad. And I always do this. If I've got a few items and you got one, I just go, why don't you just go ahead and in front of me? You've only got one thing, right?
Yeah, mm-hmm. Naturally.
So I say to the guy, well, just go ahead and go in front of me. He goes, no, that's not a problem at all. You've only got a few things, but thank you for asking. So I check out. I grab the bag. I look up, and he looks at me and goes, you are a very kind person. I want you to know how grateful I am to have met you today. You're a very kind person. Nobody does that anymore, so thank you very much. I was like skipping all the way home. I was so goddamn happy to meet a decent human being, because if this guy was mad, I would not want to get in his way. I will tell you that.
I'm just picturing you skipping down the sidewalk.
Yep. I'm a nice person. I'm very sweet. Now, it was just such a nice moment. We need a lot more of that, because please understand, there's not a politician who doesn't scam you, because it's all about money. So stop kissing their ass and wish, they're so wonderful. That thing that went on, and I couldn't stand any of the three women involved. There's AOC was one of them, and then the Republican was that asshole blonde woman. What's her name? Oh, God, she's obnoxious. But these three start going at each other. And, girl, baby girl, don't go there, baby girl. It's like, are we in the ghetto now? Is that the ticket? God, I hate that stuff. But right there, 2 Democrats, 1 Republican, all 3 of them assholes. And then the third one who got involved in it made an announcement yesterday. You just don't understand, because I'm a lot smarter than you. To the public.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, what? What the hell is wrong with you? All right, we can take our break here now, because when we come back, I'm sure that Tevin doesn't know what happened last night with the Timberwolves, but
The Wolves played?
Yeah, I didn't even realize it.
I was told the series was over after they lost.
Interesting. Phil's going to have to catch me up.
Huh.
This is going to be quite enjoyable talking about this, because, I'm not going to say more than one thing, just one question I'm asking both of you. They got to win the title now, don't they? I mean, they got through the 2 tough parts of it, don't they?
Tommy's starting to believe.
Tom's on the bandwagon. Let's go.
Tommy. No, I'm telling you that 2 at home, 2 away, but they end up winning the thing. And how do they do it? Played good defense, from what I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to get Phil's take on it, because it was a hell of a sports weekend.
What if I just say, you know what, Phil? Just the 3 of us will handle it. We don't need you today.
Yeah, we're the sports experts today.
We'll take a break. Phil Mackey, SKOR North, will join us right after this. K&L Surplus and Ammo in Lana Lakes, my choice for firearms and ammunition. Yes, I do have firearms and ammunition, so get away from me. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business and is great at getting you into the right firearm for your needs, which is very important. K&L Surplus and Ammo also works with local groups on raffles, auction fundraisers. If your group has a fundraiser coming up, make sure to call Jim at K&L. Their number 763-757-2614. He can put together a great package for your event and help you raise more money. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lana Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can reach them by phone at 763-757-2614, or you can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
You horn tootin'. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank our listeners for all your continued support. It's very, very important this time. You know, like I said, things get very political, man. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM. And you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets only $29.98. Take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, so much more. To get the best specials ever, all you have to do is go to mypillow.com, or you can call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM. That's very important because in sales they love that when they go, I heard Tom say it. Yeah, whatever. Settle down. You get free shipping on your entire order, so call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
So, yeah, last night, a lot of basketball involved. I was just down shooting hoops, and, you know, so I was a lot of basketball in my life yesterday, and I don't know what else was going on in the world, but, yeah, no.
Were you playing defense while you were shooting hoops?
Against myself.
Were you clamping the neighbors in the driveway like Rudy Gobert and Naz Reid and Karl Anthony Towns, Tom?
Phil, they did exactly what we talked about. You got to play good defense to win Game 7, and they did, man.
Everyone called me a homer after Game 5. Everyone said, calm down. We love to. It's like that scene in Airplane where all the reporters run into the phone booth and it crashes over. It's like, let's all let the series play out. Let's see what happens. Yes, it looked bleak for 3 games in the middle, but this team has absolutely beaten the brakes off Denver a bunch of times. And I mean, last night was. Because I was like 6 years old in 1991. I don't remember 1987, so I don't really remember those Twins World Series runs.
Right.
So there hasn't been a whole lot in the last 3.5 decades to get really excited about.
Can
that
I
was one of the
out quickly.
Yeah.
Why is it whenever you on, Jude starts barking?
She's howling for the Wolves.
It's Jude's Timberwolves cousins.
He's howling for the Wolves.
Wolves and 6.
Every time he hears Phil's voice, he's like, "Ruff." Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
But it was probably a top 2 or top 3 sports viewing experience for my generation last night, if you're a Minnesota sports fan. It was wild. It was one other thought before, just like off the top of my head here. It has felt like my generation and younger, Tevin down to AJ, that, and even like especially the older, I would say especially like the older generation fans, because you watch the Vikings lose a bunch of Super Bowls. Minnesota sports fans have this pessimistic, fatalistic demeanor that goes back decades. And in fairness, no Minnesota sports team outside of the Lynx for a few years has done anything to change that sort of pessimistic, fatalistic demeanor.
Right.
And it's wild that the Timberwolves are at the center of an existential change in the way we look at sports teams in this town. That's what's crazy about it.
Well, but that's also, I mean, where our people came from Scandinavia and Germany. They tend to be very pessimistic people. I'll give you an example. Well, we can't let that get too far. We got to keep everything under control. That's just the way people in Minnesota think. I did not grow up that way. You know how long it took me to adjust to, why do you think you need to control everything? Minnesotans need to control every little thing. Have you ever noticed that?
Well, yeah. We're sneaky control freaks. We're passive aggressive and we're sneaky control freaks.
No question about it. Which, again, if that's who you are, that's who you are. I'm not criticizing anybody, but, to have this team come on the way they do, they did what they had to do to win, and that was play great defense.
Yeah. And to your point about, I love the control freak thing here, just applying it to this series. What happens is we because of that, I think we tend to be front-running fans that when the Wolves are or when the Vikings are 15-1 in the regular season in '98, or when the Wolves are up 2-0 after destroying the Nuggets in Game 2 on the road, we celebrate like no other fan base. We'll throw it in your face. We will be confident. But the minute someone punches back, or the minute things go off schedule or not according to plan, and we no longer have control of it, now we start to bail. The ticket prices come down for Game 6 because we think it's out of our control now, right?
Yep. That's exactly what happened. Very good point.
Yeah. But
God,
just a little patience.
Nice to you. It's really uncomfortable. Being nice to you is really uncomfortable for me. I want you to know. It's just look. I'm not saying it's a negative thing about Minnesotans. It's just true. Minnesotans have to control everything, or they're not comfortable at all.
Yeah. Well, they did in the second half. Those Minnesotans in those Timberwolves uniforms.
Yes, they did.
It winds up being the biggest Game 7 comeback in the history of the NBA playoffs.
Really?
A 20-point deficit in the third quarter.
God.
And the Wolves just put the clamps on, the best team in the world, in their building, by the way. That nervous energy that you usually feel inside of Minnesota sports stadiums and arenas, it was palpable at the end of the third quarter when Anthony Edwards hit a step-back three to cut a 20-point lead to 1 going into the fourth quarter.
Ooh.
Yeah, because what was it, like a 28-3 run or something ridiculous to end the third quarter? And because everybody always goes, the proverbial other shoe is going to drop. Minnesota sports, this is just what happened. And that's what we saw down 20. I'm sure that everybody across the state of Minnesota and Wolves fans everywhere were like, yep, this is just how it goes for us. And then Anthony Edwards says, you know what? Not today. Cat, we got this. Jaden McDaniels, we got this. Now we got the Mavs. We're about to win a championship, Phil. We're going to Wolves in 5. Give me Boston. Give me Indiana. Give me whoever. Wolves Nation, we're up. Let's go.
The new confident Minnesota sports fan. We're testing him out right now. His name is Kevin.
That's wonderful.
The prototype.
I don't care if you're a Timberwolves fan or not. This stuff feels great. Like if you weren't a Viking fan, even though they never won a Super Bowl, when they went, it just makes it. Look, my daughter's a huge Timberwolves fan. Tevin's a huge Timberwolves fan. A lot of other people are. I like the Timberwolves. I've been around long enough to go, there are things about the Timberwolves I didn't like. But I'm happy for you guys, and I'm happy for me, too, on a lower level, because you guys have always been there. And I'm just happy to see a Minnesota team, when we sat here 3 days ago and said they have to play good defense or they're going to lose. It's exactly what they did.
Yeah. And Tom, we're going to lean on you because you obviously having the Twins seeing them win championships. But
Yes, sir.
as this continues, I feel like I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have to teach us how to act because as the longer it goes, the more just head over my skis I get.
Yeah, because congratulations, Timberwolves. You just climbed the biggest mountain you've ever climbed in franchise history, and now you're halfway through the NBA playoffs.
Yes, that's exactly right. But don't you think 2 of the best teams are gone because of the Wolves?
Yes.
Out of all the teams that made the playoffs?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
And I know Anthony Edwards had a bad shooting game last night, but his confidence, his bravado, when he's not scoring, he's grabbing rebounds, he's making great passes to get open looks for teammates. But for him at age 22 to lead this team through Hall of Famers in Phoenix, Kevin Durant's one of the greatest players of all time. Yeah. Devin Booker's a first ballot Hall of Famer. To trash talk Kevin Durant on the way out, right? and then to go in against Denver. And I think Nikola Jokic, when it's all said and done, is going to go down as probably a top 10 player in NBA history. 3-time MVP, he's still only 28 years old. And to walk into Ball Arena like that and knock off the defending champions, the best team in the world, I almost think we're underselling what this team has done in the first 2 rounds. Like, it shouldn't be breezed past that they just did this to those 2 teams and those all-time great top 10, top 15 players.
Yeah. It's hard to argue that point. There's no question about it. Look, I mean, it's one of those situations. And this does feel, Tevin, because you already brought it up, this does feel like 87 and 91. They did what they were supposed to do. That's what the Twins did to win 2 World Series. Instead of, we'll just outscore them. You thinking about outscoring people, you're going to get your ass handed to you. Mm-hmm. Play defense. I mean, especially in the NBA. It's very important.
Well, how about at halftime, Charles Barkley, by the way, who, quick side street here, I love Charles Barkley, but
I do too.
He goes on and he's been clowning the Wolves all year. You can't play 2 7-footers next to each other, this, that. And then they win, and he starts asking Anthony Edwards about, tell me some restaurants in Minneapolis. I haven't been to Minneapolis in like 20 years. Well, people spotted him at the Final Four when Auburn was there like 4 years ago. He's definitely been to Minneapolis. So send Charles Barkley some restaurant recommendations, folks. But at halftime, he said, you got to sit Rudy Gobert. You can't play Rudy Gobert. And Rudy Gobert, by the way, is the defensive centerpiece of, like, the reason why the Wolves are as good as they are defensively is because of his presence, his leadership behind the scenes. He was the defensive player of the year. And Charles Barkley said, you got to sit him at halftime. You got to go more offense. And not only did they not sit him, and that's part of the reason why the Nuggets only scored like 14 points in the third quarter. By the fourth quarter, Rudy Gobert, who only plays offense within like arm's reach of the rim, right? As the shot clock is winding down with Jokic in his face, he does a turnaround Michael Jordan fadeaway from 20 feet and cashes it. And the camera shows the Wolves bench, like Josh Minot, one of their reserve players, with this wide open, like, oh my God, I've never seen this in practice. And this dude just hit a 20-foot fadeaway in front of Jokic. The Nuggets knew at that point, yep, we're going home. Book our tee times.
It is so great to be talking like this. The excitement is look, it doesn't matter if you're a top shelf fan, like a Tevin or my daughter Alex, but you obviously, Phil, as a sports guy, AJ, you're a big fan. Then I come in beneath you guys because I've had my ass handed to me in so many different sports for the past 55 years. I can't even handle it anymore. But again, the important part to me, an outside observer, we said what they had to do. It's what they did, and not that they tuned in and said, well, let's find out what they're saying over there on the TV show. That's not what I'm saying. But it was so obvious that if they didn't play defense, they were going to get beat. So if they had followed Charles Barkley's lead, they would have not won that game.
Yeah, because they would have tried to do something completely out of character.
Yep, absolutely.
And what's great is they didn't panic. They trusted that multiple different times in this series and in the regular season matchups, we've gone on 20-point scoring runs on this Nuggets team in their building, by the way. Like, the fact that they won 3 of the 4 games in Denver in this series is wild.
I know. It's wonderful.
Man,
it is. It's so great though to watch that whole situation, and especially, and this is another thing. The only thing that bothers me is they have to keep ownership out of the conversation. Do not be distracted by that crap. Play basketball. Right?
It's funny that you bring that up because A-Rod has been extremely visible on the television broadcast. And one of the announcers yesterday was like, they showed A-Rod and he goes, A-Rod, I think he thinks he owns the team. I'm not really.
Is he after the game though?
Yeah, he's dabbing up Anthony Edwards.
Yeah,
secret handshakes.
At a secret handshake, and I was like, I would love to see Glenn. Hey, Glenn Taylor, get in here. What's your secret handshake?
Exactly.
Glenn was courtside last night. Glenn was. It's weird though because they're all like in this legal battle and they're all just sitting in these courtside seats around each other.
Another guarantee coming in from Uncle Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
If they win the title, he will sell the team because he wants to go out a winner.
Yeah.
Right? He will absolutely sell that team if they win it all because, hey, I did what I had to do. I went out a winner. It's your team now. But you got to give me a couple of billion for it. But other than that,
that's the thing. I wonder because the price, the current price that was locked in like 3 years ago was $1.6 billion. The team before the playoffs was estimated if it hit the open market, it'd be like a $3 billion purchase price. Oh, God. I mean, every game they win in the playoffs, tack on another $100 million. But you got to wonder if maybe the solution is, okay, listen, let's avoid arbitration. Let's avoid going through a bunch of legal hurdles. If you give me a little more than 1.6, I'll walk away a winner, and you guys can take over.
Yeah. I'd take 1.6 for this show.
Would you? 1.6 what?
Dollars. $1.60. It'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right, Pally, I am very, very glad you were on this morning, and we get to talk to Judd about this tomorrow because there's a lot of excitement. Tevin and AJ very fired up. So, Phil, I'm really glad you were on today.
Yeah, this was a blast, and it's fun to be actually optimistic and confident as Minnesota sports fans instead of fatalistic and pessimistic. Out with the old.
God, how would you like to be in a situation where the only sport they've never won the title to is hockey in the state of hockey?
It's crazy.
Oh, God.
Sorry, AJ. Earmuffs.
Earmuffs.
Vikings got a long road too. Is what I'll say.
We don't need to talk about that. This is a positive show. We don't need to.
Well, that's true. Oh, is this a positive show? You don't know me very well, do you? Yes, Tom's positive morning show. All right, fellas, we got to move. But Phil, we'll talk to you Friday.
Yep.
I will not talk to you Friday, but I'll see you in a week. No, I won't because he's on Mondays and Fridays. I won't see him for another week and a half.
That's all right.
Sucks.
You've had enough Phil for a while.
I'm sick of Phil.
You've had your fill of Phil.
I've had my fill of Mackey. All right, we'll take a break. We are kind of it's kind of silly today because of this win, you know.
Yeah.
I think we're allowed that every once in a while.
I think you might be right. Minnesota business owners pay way too much in taxes. You know that. You don't have to take my word for it either. The Tax Foundation has just released its State Business Tax Climate Index, and Minnesota's near the bottom with the 45th worst tax climate in the United States. That's great news. When you expand or relocate your business to Sioux Falls, you'll be basking in the second best tax climate in the nation. That's just one reason why no matter what size business you own, you can increase your profits in Sioux Falls. We've got the proof at SiouxFallsDevelopment.com. In Sioux Falls, our safe streets, award-winning schools, short commutes, vibrant, growing downtown, and pro-business attitude are all attractive reasons to make your move. And we've got a motivated workforce that's ready to help your business grow. That's very important. Escape the high taxes in Minnesota by planning your expansion or relocation to Sioux Falls. 2024 is the time to make your move to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Check out SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and ship issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
What do you think of that action, man? Let's take a second to talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. If you're tired of just being, a number, basically, to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations. There's one in Roseville. Bilski's one. 50th in France, that's right by where I live. Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, Maple Grove. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Chris Egert, I have a question for you.
Tomas, yes.
I was going to ask Phil Mackey this too, but I forgot because we were jacked up about the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
You know Jimmy Francis, the mayor of South St. Paul.
Yes.
He wants us...
Friend of the program, right?
No question about it. Such a friend of the program that he wants us to do a live show at the Croatian Hall, and he'll host it. So the mayor of South St. Paul will host it. It'll be at the Croatian Hall, which is beautiful. Could you attend something like that if we did it?
For this show?
Yeah. It's not that far from Channel 5.
Yeah, well, the problem is I've got a show at 9 that's here.
Yeah, I don't need you for that show. I've seen it.
We could work it out. I could just, here's what I would do. I could get a camera person to come to the Croatian Hall. So then when I was done with the podcast, I could just stay there and go live for Minnesota Live. That would be a solution to that.
Do you know what time Phil and Judd's show starts, their main show they do?
AJ, when is it? Do you know?
Yeah, it depends on the day. Sometimes they'll be going here, like they're going to go in like 20 minutes. Sometimes they'll be like 9:30. Some days it's a little slower. They'll start at 10. So like they might be able to make them more work than probably Chris. A little less constraint on time.
But here's what the other thing they wanted to know. Tom, you got to get out there and talk everybody into it. They want us to do the mornings, Phil and Judd to do middays, Joe Souchere and his crew to do their show at 1 o'clock. Just do an entire day of podcasts from the Croatian Hall, which is probably not a bad idea anyway.
I think that'd be fun. I shouldn't say this because I'm on camera and on podcast. I hate being at the building. I love nothing more than being away from here and like getting out of this environment.
I understand.
Because that's when I started doing this 30 freaking years ago, it was to like leave the building and go out and do stuff. And,
exactly.
So I'm all in. We'll figure it out.
Well, I'm going to leave it up to Jimmy Francis because I've noticed with Jimmy, if he needs something to get done, it gets done. So he can talk to the Hubbards about Linus Holt. And I don't even know if Phil and Judd would want to do it or Joe would want to do it or whatever. But it'd be kind of cool. An entire day of Hubbard podcasts. That'd be kind of cool, fun. Actually. It would.
I'm in.
And if there are other ones, it can just continue the rest of the day. Be fantastic. So, and somebody else already just sent me another note. You should do it there and then do another one just before school starts at Treasure Island. Because we used to do KQ used to do a bunch of material.
I'm in on that one too. Let's go.
We got to get the Hubbard behind it, baby.
Give me some free play though. I need some free play.
There you go. So what's big news other than the fact that Timberwolves kicked some ass?
Legislative session ended last night. There's all kinds of like theatrics and carrying on and yelling and screaming and it tracks. I would say Democrats forced quite a few things through that Republicans weren't really happy with in the end. But I will say that for what it's worth, I don't know what a lot of people have different opinions about it, but they did come up with a solution for the rideshare thing. So as it appears, Uber and Lyft are not going to be leaving.
Oh, they're not again now.
The legislature trumped the Minneapolis City Council, basically came up with their own plan, and Minneapolis City Council's mad now, but at least they got something figured out. I don't know. I don't have a horse in the race, obviously, but to me, it seems like the dumbest idea ever to force Uber and Lyft out of town. And, and just given the high volume of use, I just, and I'm sure there are other companies who'd like a shot at it, but I don't know. It just seemed kind of ridiculous, but anyway.
I remember when I was a little boy, we lived at 1200 Spruce Place in downtown. I was like 4 years old.
Yep.
It's the first time I ever got in a taxi. I'm like, oh, this is kind of snazzy. Got a guy driving us around like we're movie stars.
Right?
I thought that was a very big deal, man.
It is a big deal. It doesn't always feel like that big of a deal today.
No, true. Whoops, we lost him.
No, Chris.
Chris, you bumped your
You muted your mic.
Mute button.
You muted your mic. That's what a professional.
Hello, you guys got me?
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Since you brought up taxi cab, Tom, here's my excuse to tell you my story about taxi cabs.
Okay, thank you.
You know, the taxi cab industry used to be so cutthroat back in the day.
Oh yeah.
There was a beef between taxi cabs. The dude would come and shiv the other one in the ass so he couldn't sit.
It's true. Yep.
Yeah. I heard this from a buddy who I trust with these kinds of things, and he was like big in on the taxi industry, and he's like, yeah, dude, if you had beef with somebody and things got physical, shiv them right in the ass so they can't sit down for a week.
Okay, well,
I have no idea if that's true, but since I've heard that, I believe it.
I'm telling you, it is true because there was yellow cab, there was blue and white, and there was red and white. There were three different cab companies, and it was very competitive. And what you're talking about actually did happen. Yes, it did.
Well, I mean, there wasn't an app that was distributing it. It was hustle, and it was being in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
And,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt. But yeah, that was a big deal back in the day, man. Getting in a taxi. Oh, I tell you. But I'm glad that they're not leaving. That Uber and Lyft are not leaving town. It's just so easy to get around now. It's great. No excuse for drunk driving either with those guys.
That to me is
Men
like
and
the
women.
biggest deal, and it's so easy for people to not drink and drive.
Yeah.
And if that's the pathway that helps that happen, then great. Now, text and drive, that's a whole nother story, but you know.
Oh, I'm telling you, that's getting really, really old. The texting and driving thing.
It's
You
so
gotta
bad.
It's dangerous as hell. Why do we have an echo? What'd you do now?
I didn't touch anything.
Now it's gone. No, now it's gone. But it was.
I know,
was an
but I
echo
heard
for a
it
minute.
too. It sounded like I was on a acid trip there for a second.
So, Chris, you know, most people can't do that.
Really?
All right, Tevin, your turn.
There's no way in hell I'm
There's no way.
putting that out there in the public space.
Only highly trained voice actors like.
Yes. Exactly. What are you gonna do?
I'm
What
so
do you-
tired. God dang! I'm glad
Why
I
are you
stayed up
tired?
because I stayed up and watched the whole game, which
Oh,
is
you
way
did, yeah.
past my bedtime.
Yep.
Uh,
I understand, but it was well worth it. The boys did
worth
their
it,
job.
man. It was freaking awesome.
No question about it. It's I'm not going to keep pushing. I go, well, they should win it all now. I would lean toward yes, they should win it all now, but I'm not going to. It's no 100% thing. You never know. So let's just follow through. Keep playing the way you're playing. Play good defense. Number one thing to a title is good defense.
I agree, and hopefully that'll stay. I don't know. I feel like whatever. I'm not saying anything. You're right. Yes. I'm here to
getting
tell you
involved.
though, it's going to go 7 games because the NBA it benefits everyone for those games to go.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm not saying the games are fixed, or I'm not saying the referees might overlook some calls.
Oh.
I am saying though, there's millions of dollars to be made if those series go 7. That's all I'm saying.
That is very true. But let me ask all three of you this just before you go. Okay, so I'm watching the Twins lately, and because they're my team, so I watch the Twins. Can we get him in Twin Cities yet? Because I'm leaving on Thursday to come home. So can I get the Twins on television?
I think you should, because you have direct. If you have direct TV, you'll be able to get it.
Yeah,
we do.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Okay, so I noticed this yesterday several times. We got a runner on second base, then 1 out, then 2 outs. The third batter comes up, the pitch thrown, and it's about that far outside. Okay? The guy calls it a ball. And everything, hey, that was pretty close. I don't know if that was a ball or not. It was that far outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next pitch, that far outside, strike 3. What is that? The first pitch was closer to the plate than the second pitch. First pitch a ball, which it was, but the second pitch was much more a ball, but you called it a strike to end the inning. What is going on with the officiating, with all that stuff? It drives me nuts.
Welcome to the world of Angel Hernandez.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
I know that wasn't
He's
him
a
behind
menace.
the dish, but like to your point exactly, yesterday the Twins, Carlos Santana has runners on first and second,
Yep.
high leverage situation, curveball inside, called a ball, fastball inside, same exact spot, called a strike because of the frame job by the Guardians catcher. Credit to him, but let's just be better. Robot umps.
I agree.
I
like it.
Listen, I know the robot thing is very controversial, but the technology is there to make that to take away the question about where the strike zone is. And I get the nuance of it, and it changes. It's the umpire's got to use his discretion, but I mean, the technology's there. Like we've got instant replay in football.
Yep.
Think of how much that's changed the game. To me, it's dumb to not lean on that technology, but I'm not a baseball guy and I'm not a purist.
Well, what they've been implementing in some of the minor leagues is they'll give teams like 2 or 3 challenges where if a batter is like that pitch, that was a ball low, and it gets called a strike. They can go up top. Somebody's reviewing it at all times. And then like instantaneously, maybe it takes like 3 seconds. They're like, yeah, that was a ball. So they just correct it, move on. If you get the call right, you retain your challenges and you have those for the game.
There you go. I mean, there's a play at second base, and it was called an out for the Twins, and the guy so obviously was not out on the replay. I mean, it wasn't even close to being an out. So we got to start checking more of this stuff with this umpiring that's going on, all these officiating, because they've been way off on some of this stuff this year. Don't you think?
Yeah, there's a Twitter account I follow called Ump Scorecards where they take and they put like how many calls were missed, balls and strikes, and how much that influenced the game. And sometimes guys have really good games. I've seen it where they influence like 3 runs in favor of a team, and it's just like, how is that allowed? How are you not getting penalized?
Mm-hmm. All right, Chris, just make sure you start chirping about Jimmy Francis hosting 3-4 different podcasts from here at the Croatian Hall sometime this summer.
It'd be fun because then I could stay
you.
there and when you get a date on the calendar, let me know. We'll rock this party.
I think we would have so much fun. It'd be unbelievable. We'll get it going. All right, Palomino, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, bye. Talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. You guys would like doing that, wouldn't you? Doing a remote broadcast from a Croatian Hall?
Yeah. Anytime you get to do a live show and like interact with the listeners, it's always fun.
You weren't traveling with the KQ morning show back in like 2005 or 6 or something
like
that.
the Punta Cana trips and like Nashville. Yeah. No, but I've heard so many stories. I'm jealous.
When we appeared in Vegas, I think it was 2004, 5 maybe, is just before so it might have been 2007 because the economy collapsed in 2008. We had 5,000 seats, standing room, and there were several hundred people waiting in the lobby. Wow. I mean, there were thousands of people that flew all the way to Las Vegas to see that show. So, I mean, I want to start doing personal appearances like that again because, man, the listeners love it. You have a ball. Treasure Island hosted them for us. They'll probably do it again, I would imagine. I don't know why they wouldn't, but yeah, I'll stay on top of it. But if you guys really want to do it, listeners love it. That's why I love doing them, right?
I think it'd be fun to meet some listeners face to face too. Yep. That's always
no doubt.
A heck of a time.
Okay, we'll be back in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Sandy will join us right after this. Hi, Tom Barnard for Livia Way Control Centers. Now's the time to get a jump on summer. That'd be the Livia Way. Join Livia today. You get your first 8 weeks free. What do you think of that action? In those first 8 weeks, by following Livia's nutrition plan with the help of their expert team of registered dietitians and nutritionists, you can lose up to 20 pounds or more. I've already lost, 26 now, I think. Imagine how much better you'll feel, not to mention how much better your summer clothes will fit. That's very huge. Matter of fact, this shirt never used to fit me, and now it fits me. Matter of fact, it's a little big, to tell you the truth. So that's the deal. Join today. You'll also receive a complimentary in-body scan. Here's the deal. I got on a scale this morning, and by the way, I was talking to Beth, one of the experts at Livia, and she said, Tom, you've lost like 24 pounds in 5 weeks or whatever. It's going to slow down to, a pound, pound and a half, 2 pounds a week. Well, this week it was a pound and a half to 2 pounds, somewhere in there. So she was, literally, she was right on the money predicting how much I would lose this week. That's being a professional right there, man. As a brand ambassador for Livia, I really appreciated the one-on-one support that I do receive. And that's part of what I'm talking about, that support. Don't be disappointed if you only lose 2 pounds this week, because that's probably what's going to happen. That's what happened, and I was not disappointed. Hey, I lost another couple of pounds. I'm very happy about that. Join today. Get your first 8 weeks of Livia's nutrition plan free. Visit Livia.com. That's LIVEA.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA. And Livia's medical weight loss is now offering GLP-1 medications. I'm on it, starting just at $299 a month. Quiet the food noise and see accelerated results by summer. Visit Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Get a jump on summer the Livia way.
Is that text you're sending so important that you miss your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Sandy!
What's cooking?
Bob.
Yeah.
If we do Jimmy Francis reached out to me. He wants us to do a show over at the Croatian Hall in South St. Paul. You'd attend that, wouldn't you?
Sure.
He's talking about, let's have you in the morning, and then we'll have Phil and Judd doing middays, and then we'll have Joe come in right after lunch, and he could do his. He wants everybody to show up at this thing.
Is there a Croatian pizza he could make for us?
I'm sure there is. No question.
If not, just get some dough, cheese, and mozzarella, and we're good.
Some mozzarella. What is the best pizza place in South St. Paul? I don't know. Does anybody know that?
Well, as Cassetta counts in South St. Paul.
That's awfully good. There's no doubt. I love Cassetta. There's no doubt about it. It's wonderful. So, Sandy, no, kind of a surprise last night to you or not?
Actually, that's sort of my question of the day, and I'll ask all of you guys. Mm-hmm. What was more epic, the comeback or the collapse? Because they both happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the comeback, just because as Minnesota sports fans, we're used to the collapse. We're used to of course, Anthony Edwards misses everything in the first half. So we're used to that. The comeback was a nice surprise.
And I was thinking about this, and I'm probably missing some, but the Diggs catch going way back to the 80s with Ahmad Rashad in a game that really mattered, not the Colts against the Vikings. That was a regular season game, but bigger comeback that, and maybe I'm missing something in the history of Minnesota sports for what it meant than this, right? It's an instant classic. Already we know that no team's ever come back from 15 down in a game 7 in the NBA, but to come back from 20 down, and it just looked they were going to be plowed. Oh, you think, well, it's going to be 30? What's the difference going to be?
Mm-hmm.
And they could do no wrong during that stretch, and the Nuggets were they were abysmal.
I kind of love that it was on the road too, because like as much as I love those types of moments where they come back and they're surging back and the crowd's with them and all this stuff, but to do it on the road in Ball Arena in Denver, and as soon as like that fadeaway shot by Rudy or that big 3 by Ant on that big swing to put him up by like 9 or something like that, a good momentum swing, just silence. You could hear a pin drop. You hear like, a handful of the Timberwolves fans that made it to the arena, but I kind of love that stunned shock that you get from a road team just taking it to the home team like in such a big game, such a big moment.
I'll tell you what, if I was an opposing fan, I would hate Anthony Edwards. He waves to the crowd.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, he'd be so hateable if you weren't a Wolf. If you're not a Wolves fan,
so hateable.
After that, Jokic got into his face a little bit and was like, "Yeah, we don't do that over here. Like, you're not going to wave at our fan."
It didn't matter though, because he was doing it, and here's the thing that is to me most impressive and will carry them perhaps through the remainder of the playoffs. The fact that he was terrible in the first half, and these guys picked him up. And he knows that, because I think he was trying to push it early and try to show that, hey, we could win this game, and he was taking shots and missing, but the other guys carried him. And it's like afterward, Barkley said this was a team. I mean, you don't want to overuse the term team effort, but it was. This team won the game, and he was a part of it certainly down the stretch. But I think this is going to benefit them in a huge way over this next series, and potentially into the NBA Finals, because one guy could be off and they can carry. And I will say this, it's the first game that I've said Karl Anthony Towns was very important, really important to that win. And I was surprised when he was asked afterward who was the MVP for them in that game, and he said Jaden McDaniels. I thought it was Cat, because of what he played great defense on Jokic, and he made big shots.
Bob, that's a huge part of it. Tip of the cap to the head coach, because defense was everything in that game, and it'll be everything in the final couple of series too. Defense in the NBA wins games. It does. There's no question.
Well, and obviously, I mean, people, and I have been critical of Karl Anthony Towns at times, but he played Jokic much better than Gobert did, certainly in Game 5. I mean, he couldn't really get anything going, and they talked about it, but you could see Jokic, they didn't take him off the floor, and he was getting a little gassed. But, hey, suck it up, pal. You got to play 48 minutes in Game 7. Where's that extra tank?
It's true. By the way, why does he have cool initials Cat? Karl Anthony Towns, he's Cat. I'm Tomb. What the hell? TMB, Tomb. What the hell? What kind of nickname is that?
I guess when he first got drafted here, people started calling him like the Big Purr or something like that. Or Big Meow.
Big Meow, Big Purr.
And he did it on a podcast. He's like, I hated that so much. Like, the greatest thing of all time.
I bet I would hate that. The Big Purr. I was like, no.
You know the one thing that hasn't caught. I think he got the idea from LeBron James, but that whole lumberjack look does not catch on with the masses. There aren't people growing that beard out in public.
It's a playoff beard. What are you talking about, Bob?
Yeah, okay, yeah. He's had it his entire I don't know about his entire career, but certainly the last few years.
Yeah.
Bob, I got to ask you a couple of questions, but I want to make sure you got everything you wanted to say about the Timberwolves.
No, I mean, and Tom, this next series, I don't have a freaking clue what's going to happen, because Dallas has gotten a lot better. I mean, they made moves, and that's a good team. The Wolves are a good team, but we all, I think all Wolves fans, hey, we're going to play the 5th seed. Oh, let's go. We're going to make the final. Oh, we're going to win it all. So many things can happen, and we saw many of them happen in this series.
That is true, but I just wanted to ask you about the situation. And I don't really have a personal opinion. I have an opinion about the situation, but not about the people. This kicker for Kansas City, why did that get to be? Some people have faith in things that I don't, that you don't, or whatever. He's not telling you that you should believe what he believes.
No.
What's his name again?
Harrison Butker.
Yeah.
Harrison Butker. I didn't have any problem. He has a deep belief in God, which, I'm not a very religious person myself, but I was in no way offended by that at all. They thought it was offensive to women, which I didn't see that either. I mean, they live their lives. It's up to them how they want to live their lives, isn't it?
Yes, and I'll tell you what, one thing, it's not, certainly there are some fans who aren't crazy about it, but his jersey is become, I think it overtook Caleb Williams for sale.
It did, yep.
I mean, there are a lot of people who are listening to what he said and don't have a problem with it. And even now, here is a problem. I saw this because you can't trust social media because there's so many lies.
Oh, God.
But knowing what we know about Andy Reid, I believe this to be true, where he said that he's not going to get rid of his kicker. And if he had to leave, if the kicker had to go, he's going to go because he's not going to give in to a woke crowd.
Good.
I believe Andy Reid would say that.
Yeah, I do too.
And you can't give in to these. That's the problem, giving into these woke crowds that are trying to make it a much bigger deal than it is. Somebody else pointed out that Travis Kelce was at some college where he was telling them, hey, you just graduated, go out and party, have a great time. Nobody has a problem with that, but they have a problem with a guy who's trying to push family values.
Yeah, what's wrong? I mean, honestly, all of a sudden, it's against the rules to be a Jew, to be a Catholic, to be this, to be that. Look, I'm not a very religious person myself. As I've said before, I obviously know there are things a lot bigger than I am. So it's not like I'm God in my own mind like some people. Some people think they are, by the way. But I was not offended by what he had to say. It's not the way I live my life.
No.
I don't win games with my feet like he does.
Well, I think now I missed it, but last night I think they had the Pope on.
Yeah, I saw him
on 60 Minutes.
Yep.
And did he say Harrison Butker? No good. Did he do that? Or maybe he wore the Harrison Butker jersey.
He was talking more about immigration, and it's not really, he's talking about illegal immigrants and how you need to help people.
Yeah, they're all God's people.
But here's what I would like to say to the Pope. Then stay where you are. We'll bring the help to you.
Okay.
It's a much better way to do it.
Then let's ask the Pope, how tall is that wall surrounding the Vatican?
Yeah, how tall is that, by the way?
Everybody should come in. And I mean, I'm a Catholic, and I wouldn't call myself a fallen Catholic, but there are things I don't agree with the church. But that one is, it's like Nancy Pelosi's another one. She's got the wall around her house.
Yep.
But anyway, I don't want to get off on that tangent.
All I have to say, Bob, is find to the Pope into the pizza. That's all I have to say.
Ooh, pizza. But I have no problem with what Butker said. He had his own opinion and he shared it. They don't invite the guy.
Let him live his life. Let his wife live her life. It's their life. It's none of your damn business what they do. I like it a lot better than a 30-year-old guy stabbing a 94-year-old woman getting probation. Yeah. Believe me, disgusting. I'm really against that.
Well, and also, it's the first kicker. The last kicker that anyone really listened to was Garo Yepremian. I kick football. So
I kick a touchdown. Remember that? Who came up with I kick a touchdown?
It might have been him. They may have put it on him, Garo Yepremian. That's good.
Just settle that. Look, I don't shove I'm not a very religious person. Grew up Catholic, which I liked. It was great and all the rest of it. So why is religion such a problem? Now, you believe a different religion than I do, so therefore you're my enemy. What?
No, but this is just an opportunity again for people to go after him because he doesn't believe in abortion. Oh my God. They want to just attack him and assail him because he doesn't believe in abortion. Yeah. Everybody can have their own beliefs, obviously.
I agree. I got to be honest with you. It's none of my goddamn business what you do. But by the same token, and it's none of your business what I do either. Let's make it a two-way street. It's not just me caring about you. You got to care about me too, or get the hell out of my face.
The get the hell out of my face part is what's not happening nowadays.
No, it's not.
That's the big problem.
There's no doubt about it. I told a story this morning. Ran into a 6'5", 280-pound guy. I invited him to step in front of me because he only had a salad at checkout.
Yeah.
I check out, turn around, grab the bag. He looks at me. This giant of a man looks at me and goes, "You're a very kind person, and it's so nice to meet someone as kind as you are." It was the nicest. I felt so great for like an hour after that.
What'd you say? He was 6'5", what?
6'5", about 280. That guy was huge.
Did he pat you on the head after he said that?
He kind of did. Yeah, good to see you, kid. Honest to God. But just any sign of that now, Bob, makes me very happy.
But it needs to be more of that because there's so much at the other end of what's happening.
It's got to stop. Just because I think differently than you do, you hate me. What is wrong with you? Are you mentally ill?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, but you use the example of these guys that are committing horrific crimes.
Terrible.
They don't even get this. They used to get a slap on the wrist. It's not even that anymore.
Nope. You're absolutely right.
And that all it does is open the door for more and more and more of it.
That's correct. Look at our school systems. Every damn day now, some kid's opening fire at a school.
Yes.
Jesus.
I'm thinking, you know what? I got a feeling there was a morning show back on K Sodom or K Gomorrah saying the same sort of things. We need to there's too much promiscuousness and stuff going wrong here. It'll change. Well, it's bad. It's getting what point? What will happen? Will we turn into like the Kurt Russell Escape from New York? Is that what the entire country is going to become?
Yeah, probably. It's all about. It's not about politics. It's not about power, except to get money. That's the only thing that matters to these people is money. Disgusting pigs.
Well,
Let's get off your ass and get a job.
I think the power is a big part of it too.
Well, that's what I mean. The power to get money.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're right.
And I don't remember where it was, but one quick thing. I saw something, again, social media, but whether it's true or not, it was it was from many years ago, where when you took office, you had to be audited. When you took office and when you left office.
Yep.
And if you made X number more, you were basically they took you out because you shouldn't be making money.
I'm going to say this, and I have no idea if that guy's a Democrat, a Republican, whatever the hell I have no clue because I don't follow politics because I hate them both. But this Bob Menendez, did you hear what he did yesterday?
He's a Democrat from New Jersey. But
he's a Democrat. Okay. See, I didn't even know that, but who gives a rat's ass? Did you hear what he said yesterday?
No, but I'm sure it's outrageous.
My wife has cancer, and I wish I had known about the gold bars she was hiding in her closet. He blamed it on her.
Oh, my God.
What a horrible human being you are. It's like, what?
He threw his cancer-stricken wife under the bus.
That's exactly what he did. That's
this guy,
right.
He is, we'd heard about the Teflon Don. This guy's as Teflon as anyone because nothing sticks with him.
I know.
He's been pulling things for years.
He's disgusting.
But that part of New Jersey, they do get away with things up in that area.
What do you mean, Bob?
That's like the Jersey City area, that portion of the state. Yeah.
All right, Sandy, as a former New Jerseyite, get the hell out of my face.
All right, then. Tom, here, I'm patting you on the head.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll see you.
Take it easy. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Okay, when we come back, the three of us are going to talk about this. And here's the headline. Have you seen the 5 jobs with the most millionaires? Have you seen that story?
No, I have not.
Don't look it up then, because I haven't looked at it yet either. So we can look it up together. But here's one I don't understand. Mm-hmm. The 5 jobs. This is from the Complete Sheet, National Wise Brother publication. Okay, so national publication. The 5 jobs with the most millionaires, and one is teacher. Teachers are now becoming millionaires.
They got to be including like professors, like college professors. I'm sure there's somebody out there making $1 million teaching a college class.
I would have to agree with you on it. It's got to be college they're talking about. There's no question. We'll be right back. We'll talk about the 5 jobs with the most millionaires, and one is a teacher right after this.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Evening Meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather, so you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
In addition to having the best selection in town, K&L Surplus and Ammo also can help you sell your firearms safely and worry-free. Very, very important. You've inherited a collection of firearms from a loved one, don't know what to do with them, or if you have guns you're no longer using, call Jim at K&L Surplus and Ammo. Jim can help you sell those firearms safely and through consignment and auction. I know Jim. He's an extremely knowledgeable guy, great guy too. Will help you get top dollar, which is very important, of course. He will help you explore all the options and take the work and stress off of your shoulders. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back. Have not clicked on this yet. The 5 jobs of the most millionaires, and one is teacher. Okay, I just clicked on it right there. Okay, here's the full story. The 5 jobs on this list aren't what you'd expect, especially number 3. Someone asked 10,000 millionaires how they built their wealth and what they did for work. One of the jobs with the most millionaires is teacher. It's because $1 million isn't really that much anymore once you get close to retirement. They're also counting the value of your home. Oh, well, they count the value of your home. I didn't know that.
I mean,
the average home is now what, about $350 to $400 grand or something like that?
I mean,
yeah. Unless you're living in, maybe an unsavory part of town or small town.
Let me put it like this: do you want a bathroom?
Yeah.
At minimum $400K.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, there was a little head fake going on there. I didn't know it included their house. By those standards, the 5 jobs with the most millionaires are engineer, accountant, teacher, people in management, and lawyer. Oh God, morning disc jockey missed out by just a couple of spots.
Yeah, and so did doctors. Like, shouldn't they be on that list somewhere?
Yeah, I don't see doctor on here anywhere. You're right.
Yeah, where are doctors? What are we doing?
That's weird.
Maybe, do you think doctors maybe live more in apartments then?
Doctor is 6th.
Okay.
So maybe.
So they're right on the outside there. Though.
Doctors must rent.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe they also factor in the debt that is required in student loans to become a doctor. So that just offsets your millions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. They make a lot of money, but they also spend. But doctors make a lot of money, but they spend a lot of money too.
Oh, okay.
The poll found doctors aren't great in general at managing their money. The poll found the 2 main ways that people reach at least $1 million in wealth in 2024 is by investing in a 401k, and buying a house they eventually will pay off. So it has more to do with the home than it does their job. It seems like anyway.
Yeah.
Being worth $1 million. Okay, so you're already, but most people, can you be called a millionaire if you have a $350,000 house and you still owe $250,000 on it?
I don't think so.
No. And I
don't think so.
I think even if I paid my house off and I only had whatever X amount in the bank, I don't know that I would include that in my
right
there because of that. Like I need $1 million in my bank account, and then I'm going to call myself a millionaire.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
I wouldn't
Or
say it's like liquid or like, if you have like 500K in an account and then you have, 500K in like, rental properties / investments in like stocks and stuff, then it's something you can sell. But if you sell your house, sure, you have $1 million, but now you don't have a house.
Yeah.
See, I have to agree with that. No question about it. Yeah, I didn't realize it included their house. I'm like, well, I suppose, though, if you own a house and it's paid for, it's part of you being a millionaire, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah, being a millionaire now doesn't mean shit anymore.
No. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to, if someone wants to give me $1 million, I'll accept. But in today's world, it's more, you have to be a billionaire to really get somebody's head to turn these days.
You got that right. And it better be up around 200 billion, as a matter of fact, because otherwise it doesn't matter. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're at a fancy restaurant, you are going to want dessert. Actually, you want dessert even if you were at the Cheesecake Factory. The difference is cheesecake is easy to pronounce. For whatever reason, Business Insider recently put out a list of the most commonly mispronounced desserts and how to actually pronounce them. Number one is hilarious because I thought, well, this has got to be on the list, and it's actually number one. People say macaroon, and it's macaron. It's macaron, not macaroon.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
I've always ever heard macaroons, so it's like
I know.
macaroons there.
That is a very Minnesota thing to say macaroon. It is, yes, you're right. But it is macaron.
Gotcha.
Macaron. It's not beignet, it's beignet. Oh no, it's not beignet or beignet, it's beignet.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the hell that is.
You talking about beignets?
Beignets. That's like
what's a beignet?
It's like the cream filled.
There, Cafe Dumont in New Orleans on Bourbon Street.
I'll stop there.
French Quarter. Fantastic.
Beignet, it's called.
Yep.
So it's like a
powdered pastry donut type.
It's like cream filled, I think. Yeah, it's like a donut essentially.
Oh, I like it. Let's go. Forget South St. Paul. Let's go to New Orleans.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, you know, the KQ Morning Show never took a trip to New Orleans because we wanted all our listeners to be alive on the return trip.
Let me tell you this. If you're not prepared to handle New Orleans, it's going to be an experience because Bourbon Street, perfectly fine. Safe place.
Yep.
People are drunk, maybe. Sure. A block left or right of Bourbon Street. Nah, let's get back to where we just were. Not a fun place to be.
A little dangerous out there.
Yeah.
So it's not crepes, it's crepes. It's not dulce de leche.
Whoa, I'm going to need you to pause there for a second. We're not.
There's no way it's crepes.
There's no way crepes.
Really?
Is the
No, it is crepes. Yeah, it's not crepes. It's crepes.
Whoa. Okay.
My whole life has been a lie.
We'll have a new game show. It's called Hey, Let's Take a Crepe. And we'll give away.
I don't give a crap.
I don't give a crap. That's okay. Here's what we're going to do. We'll take 5 things. We'll get a listener on. Okay, let's see if you take a crepe or not. And we'll lay it out there. It'll be a new game show. God, we had appearances in South St. Paul. We got game shows. We got all kinds of stuff going. Kuganamon. It's Queenamon. I never even heard of it.
I have no idea.
I couldn't. No.
Oh, yeah, it's not croissant. It's croissant.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
A croissant.
I'm going to throw a flag there because the French are obnoxious and stuck up as is. I'm going to say croissant. Don't tell me you have to say croissant or français. Shut up.
All right.
Shut up.
Also, I'm not calling my Pillsbury dough pop open thing a croissant. That's a
croissant.
Right. No, we're not doing that.
Okay, listen, Tevon and Aj. We got to take a break because KB2. Don't we quite yet. Show's not over.
Sorry, I was getting too much of a crepe.
What a very, very adult show we're running here this morning. There's no question about it. All right, we got to take a break because Kristen Burt will join us right after this.
Mike Lindell and my fellow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner. This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Croissant Bert. Entertainment news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Croissant. Christian.
It's Christine in
Christine.
French.
Oh, Christine.
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 Mm-hmm.
Wee wee.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you got a little wee wee on you there. Anyway.
And a macaron and a macaroon are two different cookies.
They are?
Yeah. So in the U.S., we have coconut macaroons.
Oh, okay.
And then, then the French macaron have made their way over here to the U.S. And those are like the little wafer cookies with like the filling in the middle. Oftentimes they're like pistachio or strawberry, and they're like multicolor. Like they'll be green or they're pink or they're. So that's a distinguished. I'm a big fan of French pastry.
Of cookies in general?
No. French pastry.
You know, I even fall for an Oreo, man. I love Oreos.
Yeah.
Especially if you dip them in milk.
Those are like just American macarons.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because they're filled with preservatives and other crappy ingredients.
God,
but they still taste good.
Don't
But they're
bring
double
me
stuffed.
down. No.
The double stuff. I only want the frosting, the icing in the middle. That's all I want.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
So if anyone wants my chocolate wafers, they're all yours.
I want cookies. I want a cookie right now. I love cookies.
Let's go for beignets in New Orleans. I'm all in for that.
Beignets. I've never had a beignet. So what does a beignet taste like?
Tom, you have not lived until you have had a beignet from Café du Monde.
Café du Monde beignet.
Yep.
Okay. Oui again.
They're good for breakfast. They're good for a very late night snack. If you've been out on Bourbon Street, they are delicious.
What flavor are the beignets?
They're just fried dough in powdered sugar.
Ish.
Oh,
No.
they're so good.
And they're
Really?
warm, and they're flaky and doughy and buttery. They
Wait a
are
minute.
perfection.
Warm, flaky, and doughy.
And
There.
buttery.
The three
And
of
butter.
you.
You can call me any of those things.
I want
Buttery
buttery.
Kevin.
I want to be buttery.
In case you don't know what they look like, Tom, this is a beignet.
I've never even seen a beignet.
Tom, you have not lived. We have to road trip then. That is like ridiculous.
They don't have those at McDonald's or Burger King.
I know, but you've been to New Orleans before, right?
Oh, many times, yeah.
How have you missed Cafe Du Monde? It's like one of the top tourist spots.
Because there was a business that, well, actually, it was one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I went down there to try to help rebuild after Hurricane Katrina. Ended up costing me a lot of money that I never got back. Try to help people sometime, you will lose your ass. I can promise you that. Isn't that sad?
That is sad.
You go down to help them with tons of money and all the rest, and they just steal your money. And I'm not talking about just New Orleans. It happens everywhere.
Yeah, it happens after a lot of hurricanes, honestly. There's a lot of scammers that go down there saying, we're helping to rebuild, and then they don't. They just take the money and run.
They take the money and run. You don't want to help people. No, you don't need. I will tell you that one of the great things about being down in that area and going over to like Biloxi, Mississippi, that Gulf Coast is beautiful. Absolutely stunning.
Gulf is gorgeous.
All right. You have any good news other than all this negative stuff that happened to me?
No, well, Tevin and I had a little exchange over the weekend. And this is not good.
Yeah.
And I
Let's
this
start
will
with
lead
FU.
to. I didn't swear at him. We were swearing at other people, which would be Diddy. I think a lot of people probably saw that horrific surveillance footage that was released by CNN. And I think we can kind of pivot this. I mean, Diddy, did an apology video yesterday that was all about himself, all about him.
Me. Yep.
Not about Cassie, who obviously endured so much trauma. But I think this is really kind of an interesting time to talk about this because there's a movement going on TikTok right now of like blocking celebrities, so they're not making money. But I really am starting to feel like this is the death of celebrity altogether in general. They're no longer worshipped. They're no longer someone special. You might like their movies, you might like their TV shows and appreciate their talent, but that extra special attention that they get, the free stuff that they get, the front of the line access, those days are gone. And I look at someone like Diddy and I'm like, there's no way back on this one.
No.
There's just no way back.
No. Do you want to see what I would look like if I ever kicked Catherine in the butt? You ready?
Is that you in your casket?
That's me in my casket right there.
But I do think it's a reminder that, I think a lot of people just think of like domestic violence in these like ethereal terms, like just if it's not in your world, you don't know what it looks like.
Yeah,
and
good point.
I think sometimes when you do see it presented in front of you, you see how he didn't care. He was in a towel at a hotel.
Yep.
So ran down the hallway to go and make that happen, at an elevator bank, sat in a chair, had picked up objects. Like it didn't matter because he had enough power. And even if he was in the middle of a rage or whatever the heck it was, it doesn't matter. He didn't care what other people thought. He was able to get rid of that tape for a really long time and allegedly paid the hotel $50,000 to make it disappear. And
Kicked
that's
her
why
3 times, right? Didn't he kick her 3 times?
Oh, more than that.
More than that.
And for me, it was like, obviously he was in a towel. I would assume that they probably were in some sort of argument. She waited till he got in the shower and thought, this is my chance to escape. And he, sprints down the hallway, grabs her by the neck, throws her over. Just absolutely disgusting. And this is a guy that always is promoting himself as, peace and love, and we can all do things together. And like, this is what you're doing behind the scenes, really.
And I want to remind you that he settled. She took out a civil suit against him last fall. I think we briefly talked about it. He settled it within 24 hours, and his lawyer in a statement said he denies all of the allegations, but he wanted to just let Cassie move on.
Lies.
All lies. 100%. All of it.
Is he going to get sued for all his money?
Well, they've already, he and Cassie have settled their case, obviously, but there are other cases out there. The feds are also on him. Remember, they raided his homes in Miami and New York. He's got a lot of legal problems ahead of him. I don't care that he feels like he's a better man now, because honestly, he's got a lot of apologizing, and there should be consequences to his actions. Unfortunately, the Los Angeles district attorney said statute of limitations has run out. There is nothing I can do.
Oh, give me a break.
Because it was 2016. And again, oftentimes the laws don't protect women when it comes to assault.
Right. That is true.
Also men too who involve this, but oftentimes we talk about the women, but I should also say men get assaulted as well. And that's important.
No, you're absolutely right. It was disgusting when it popped up on the screen. I could watch it once, but not again.
No, and I had to watch it. I had to do an article on it, and it was really hard to watch. And, and it's like, you think about maybe someone or, you've heard of people who have experienced this in your lifetime. Watching that video oftentimes that PTSD comes right back into play because they've been in that same exact situation as Cassie.
How sad is it that somebody would actually do that? You're supposed to love this person and you're kicking them when they're lying on the ground because you threw them on the ground. Unbelievable.
And just a reminder, because I know there's going to be one doubter there that goes, well, why didn't she leave? Why didn't she go? Why did she stay? Oftentimes, and this is like statistical facts, it takes 7 major events for a woman to actually leave a relationship. And that can be over a course of many years. And by the way, the most dangerous time for a woman is when she leaves, because that's oftentimes when they file for divorce or separation. That's oftentimes when they are either seriously injured and or killed.
Yeah, and what's unique with the Cassie situation as well, like he was supposed to be like helping her in her career become this mega superstar, and so he was looked at as a gatekeeper where, she could leave, but now does that mean her career is over as well? So she probably had that going through her mind as well.
Luckily, there was none of that in my family. First of all, my mother could have kicked my father's ass anyway, so that was a good thing. But yeah, that didn't happen in our house. It was, I don't know how. Boy, I mean, I'm just glad they didn't have any little kid. Well, he's got a couple of teen children, or they're in their 20s, teens, 20s, something like that.
He has some in their teens. I think he's got 3 daughters still left in their teens. He's got 7 kids altogether, I want to say?
I think that's right, yeah. But now, have they been asked, what do you think of this?
You talking about Diddy?
Yeah.
He has a son who has been wilding out, made a diss track to everybody that's been talking crap about his dad and saying how you guys are all wrong. You guys will see. Mm-hmm. He said that the feds raided the wrong house, implying that there's some other property. Like, Diddy, first of all, needs to get his own life in check, but then also needs to tell his son, like, hey, maybe we should quiet down while all these videos are coming out.
Also, wasn't he arrested right around the same time Diddy was? I feel like he has a case against him. And I'm not sure what it is exactly, but there was an arrest in there too. But yeah, he has teen daughters, and they were, it's so funny because 3 years ago, he did a huge, very glossy cover with Vanity Fair talking about how his kids were being groomed to take over the Diddy empire. I'm like, there is not going to be an empire left.
Got no empire now, no question about it. I'm thinking about this. I have never been arrested in my life. Is that unusual?
I haven't been arrested.
No, probably not.
I don't think it's that unusual.
No.
Yeah.
Why don't we send cops after Kristen right after the show? We'll
For what? For what? Being annoying?
Wall,
being annoying is probably...
911, yes.
Being annoying. That was a nice exchange we had on Facebook, by the way, over the weekend. That was nice.
Which one? Did I only do one this weekend?
I think you only did. Well, it's only one that I saw.
Oh yeah, road trip to LA is what I said.
Road trip to LA. You wanted to bring.
I know Tevin's girlfriend wants to come to LA, so if you road trip to LA, all of you.
We're going to see Mrs. Burt in LA, Tevin. You gotta.
Mrs. Burt is my mother.
I'm sorry, it's Miss Burt. She says, not
Mrs.
Mrs. Burt. Mrs. Burt.
He's rolling out.
My mother. Because I'm not married to my father.
Whoops.
Kristen, real quick, The Office, like the reboot or spin-off show that they're doing, is supposed to be starting in July, like the filming and production. Is there anything, because I know obviously, Tom, you're a huge fan of the show. Is this going to be as good as the original, or is there any early expectations for it?
I'm really curious as to how they're going to do it. Now, this takes place as a local newspaper that's gone bankrupt, and they're looking for volunteers to kind of revive it. So I think that there's a lot of humor in journalism, because it's been the demise of journalism as we've seen it over the past couple of years too.
Yeah.
But we have seen Steve Carell. He's come out and he said, do not expect me to be on the show. I will support it. I will not be making a cameo. And to me, The Office was Steve Carell. And then all of the supporting characters that did such a great job. So if they can cast really well, I don't know if we'll ever have the same magic, but I definitely will be watching for sure.
Brittany Hagan. had it nailed. There's no question. The best line in the history of that show is when Steve Carell came out and said, "I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious."
There's so many good lines. There's just
It really is.
I don't know, like as a cat woman myself, like just seeing Angela's obsession with her cats, I'm like, this is how bad it could become.
Oh yeah, no question about it. All right, any closing word? I should tell you, Kristen, that because I know the family adores you, but Andy had to go back in the hospital, but he's okay. They released him again yesterday, and then yesterday Alex's father-in-law died. So it's been so we're not having the family show today or tomorrow because obviously they can't come in and do the show. So I think Andy will be back on Wednesday and Thursday. Then after the show Thursday, I hop in the car and drive back to Minnesota. So that'll be good.
Wow. Are we off, by the way, for the long weekend or what's
Yes,
happening?
you got Friday and Monday off. What do you think of that, sister?
Well, good to know. So I take it off. I would have been here on on Friday. I figured Monday was off, but Friday I would have been like, AJ, where's my link, Tevin? Anyone? Well, they're like sleeping or like on a boat somewhere in Minnesota, enjoying a cocktail for the weekend.
Indeed. All right, but we'll talk to you tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday.
Yes, I will be here with bells on.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Yeah, there will be no family show today or tomorrow because obviously the children are very busy recovering from their own hospitalization. And let me say again that Mr. Rasmussen, Dr. Rasmussen, was a great guy, very intelligent man, the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. He will be missed. There's no doubt about it. Been sick for a long time. He battled it for, I think, 14, 16 years, something like that. But so we will have this show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But then I know a couple of stiffs that get Friday and Monday off for the long, long weekend.
I'll look for him. Who could that?
Full work weeks, I tell you. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's close. Let me ask you a question. So do you think that Jimmy Francis should approach this? Because first of all, I've never been inside the Croatian Hall. I've driven past it, but it's a beautiful building. But don't you think it'd be kind of fun if we had an entire day of podcasts at the Croatian Hall hosted by the mayor?
I think so. It's a great venue. If we get everybody on board, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
We got to get who? We got to get Ginny on board?
Yeah.
Would I have to threaten her?
No. I think she's a little more open-minded than needing to be threatened.
Damn it.
But that's plan B.
I've been threatening her since she was like 8 years old. Why do I have to change now? I'll never forget the first time I ever met her. She was a little kid. Isn't that amazing? She was a little kid wandering the halls. Wow. I'm sure she doesn't even remember it because she was young, but what are you going to do? All right, fellas, we will talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you then.
Thanks. Bye.